Yeah, so hi, it's back to me again. So we're going to have a session now just looking at how NBS are supporting the issue, particularly on the two subjects we've heard already today, and then that'll go into another panel discussion, like focus more on like specification itself. So yeah, I'm Innovation Director at NBS, and there's sort of like two parts of that role. One is sort of listening to our customers, and that's a little sort of focus group in an architect's office in London. I'm here all lunchtime. I'll be the last one here today. So as I'm doing the presentation, think of what we could do better at NBS and give me your suggestions. And then the other part of my job is coming out and telling you what we've been up to as well, which through webinars, through events, which is really fantastic as well. So today's presentation, we're going to start looking, like we've just been looking at sustainability, so we'll keep the sustainability topic there initially. We'll look at what NBS are doing to help our customers have sustainable outcomes. Then we'll have a look at building safety. And then we look at like who are NBS collaborating with, because obviously our tools interact with other tools, our content interacts with other content. And throughout, I'm not going to sort of say, first 15 minutes we're looking at NBS chorus, second 15 on source. We're just going to jump between, because it's a bit of a mirror of you've got your requirements in the specification, and then ultimately the solutions are provided by manufacturers. And we're sort of that hub in the middle that connects the two. But yeah, first of all, sustainability. And we're going to start with just looking at sustainability data, because you've got your aspirations of the client, the developer's got the aspirations, but you need to monitor that data throughout. That was the green thread. So what are we doing in terms of sustainability data? And I think what I want to demonstrate here is how we're taking sustainability information from manufacturers and sort of shining a light on it. So in NBS source here, I'm doing the search for mineral wool slab insulation. There's 70, 80 products there from different manufacturers. And then I'll say, look, I just want to see the products that are displaying their sustainability information. And that filters down further. So straight away encouraging manufacturers to provide the information. And then for a product in NBS source, we've got two key property sets. There's the specification property set. So what's the fire performance, the thermal performance, the dimensions. But then we have a second property set now underneath there where we've got the key sustainability data. And where's it manufactured? Does it contain red list materials? What's the recycled content? What's the embodied content? What's the expected life, etc. And we're putting that in a nice, simple format extracted from the manufacturer's environmental product declarations. So for those that haven't seen an environmental product declaration, here's a one from a particular manufacturer provided working with BRE. And we're sort of making that simple. So what's the declared unit, dropping down to all the way to what's the embodied carbon from A1 to A3. Now, if you can get that right for one product, then you can do really clever things like filtering and comparisons. So I'm now looking at piled carpet tiles, and I'm saying, just show me the piled carpet tiles that have less than, say, 6 kilograms per meter squared. And you pull that slider, and we're creating that sort of a marketplace around the sustainability values. So get the specification right first, then ask questions on the sustainability. And then after you've done the filtering, you can do comparisons as well. So on the screen there are 3 different carpet tiles from 3 different manufacturers, and that information standardized in a nice little table. So you've got a product from Yorkshire, one that comes from Denmark, one that's got 9 kilograms of carbon, one that's got 5 kilograms of carbon, recycled content there as well. And that's there sort of in the middle, connecting the specifiers and the manufacturers. So the specifiers out there can make the most appropriate choice based on the different metrics. I'm hearing a wow from Chris, that's great. Chris, we'll invite you to more events. Extracting the data. So we know that everything doesn't happen just in the NBS platform. There's lots of solutions out there. So we want to put that information at your fingertips for whatever your process. So what I'm going to demonstrate here, again, it's an NBS source. And this time I'm pulling together a number of products in a little collection. And rather than go product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4, I'm just going to click the little button at the top of the screen and say, look, extract all of that sustainability information and put it in a little data set for me. And 10, 15 seconds later, you've got a data set. This is Excel, but you can take it from Excel into a proper database or another software tool. And if you look at the columns along the top, it's well classified. Everything's got a hyperlink, which takes you back to NBS source. It talks about the different variants, because it could come in different thicknesses. And then in terms of the certification, we've got brand certification, like ISO 14001, BES 6001. Links to that, links to the environmental product declaration. And then as you go further along, it's real numeric values with clear units. So is it per meter squared? Is it per meter cubed? What's the numeric value? Is it a Boolean? Yes, no. Is it the geolocation of the factory? Because it's not just the A1 to A3, but it's the transport to site as well. So that's live. That's happening now. We want to take that a little bit further, because lots of the products are already in the specification that you're developing. So what we're looking at now is NBS Chorus, our specification platform. And typically, people think of a specification as a huge PDF, 1,000 pages of really, really important content, but it's 1,000 pages of PDF. So what we've done now in Chorus with the summary schedule functionality is allow you to create your own tags. So you can tag the specification to have any view on it you wish. Show me all of the submittals. Show me what I need for planning. Show me all of the products so that I can extract the carbon information from it. So in this example here, it's maybe the important products that you want to show the client or the planner, but it's no longer just 1,000 pages of PDF. It's the data that you tagged for that specific purpose, because the specification is a rich database that we want you to extract information from that, with sustainability being one of those #1 data properties that you pull out. And then how can we go even further? How can we enhance this data? So this is a bit of future gazing now, so this isn't a live NBS product. And we're going to look at this more after lunch, but this is ChatGPT. So what I did is I took that data set I exported from NBS, I think it was for concrete paving, and I said to ChatGPT, please analyze this data for me and show me in a nice table. I like charts as well. So ChatGPT came back with this, and that's from 3 providers of concrete paving slabs. And it looks initially like the products at the bottom are sort of 10 times worse in terms of embodied carbon. But you look a bit further at what ChatGPT's done, and at the bottom it says some are per meter squared, some are per meter cubed. So I've got a bit angry with ChatGPT and said, come on, you know the dimensions. I've given them the dimensions. Him, is ChatGPT him? I've given it the dimensions and the density. Please normalize this information. And like 2 seconds later, it's all normalized. And you've gone from exactly the same measurement units from the least amount of embodied carbon through to the most. And then what was the last question I asked? I then said, I'd like to see the average value now. Maybe I don't know at this stage of the project which manufacturer, which project. So what's that generic value for paving slabs based on what's in the market at the moment? And I said, please. Because even though it's AI, I think you have to be a little bit polite to it. And again, 1 second, 2 seconds, it produces this distribution curve saying the average value is 19.6 kilograms per meter squared, and the standard deviation is, whatever, 4.9. And this is like amazing. And what we want to do with NBS is combine sustainability with digital AI and really give you that standardized information generically and per manufacturer as well to support both of those user cases. And I think what you'll find over the next 12 months, you click that report, and there'll be gaps. And the gaps will be because certain manufacturers haven't provided that information yet. But because we're there as that hub, if the specifiers ask the manufacturers, they'll recognize they can do that once, rather than get 5 queries a week from different architects and different engineers. Do it once, have it there, and the amount of empty data where you don't know the recycled content or you don't know the manufacturing site location, it'll fill up. The generic value would be fantastic in 5 years' time. In 10 years' time, the generic value comes down because the industry is demanding of the manufacturers, give us materials that have lower carbon values. It should be a dynamic value that changes every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So That's sustainability. I'm trying to go through at a good pace to show lots of good stuff. Second part, building safety. And yeah, the golden thread. So yeah, you've made specification decisions. How do they change through the lifetime of the project? In terms of defining the golden thread, I think, I'm not sure if everyone in the audience has seen this, but this is the CLC's guidance document that was, I think, published about a month ago. And there was a number of mentions of specification in it. So I can't read exactly what's on the screen, but I think the first one saying something like the drawings and the specifications must be submitted at Gateway 2 to demonstrate compliance with the regulations. So that's sort of Gateway 2 like, critical information that's in the specification. It talks about the different systems coming together to form an element. So it's not like that's the structural engineer's responsibility, that the architect. It's demonstrated like at an elemental level. And then the final one, critical one, is have those change management processes in place. So when decisions do get changed, they're documented correctly. So specification, a huge part of the wider golden thread. And we've been spending a lot of time over the last 12 months or so focusing on the change control functionality in NBS Chorus. So in this little demonstration here, we're publishing 3 external wall systems, but we're not publishing it for the first time. So we're saying, yes, we want a PDF, but we want to show the revision history. And we'd like to compare this revision, contractual version 3, with contractual version 2. So we've got those sort of 2 points that we're going to compare. We're going to save a record internally for our own benefit. We're going to get the naming convention right to the ISO standards, etc. Maybe make a note about whether it's a recordable, a notifiable, a major change, who signed it off, maybe does it tie in with the instruction item. But once you've got that data entered correctly and you click publish, there's a sort of tree of revision information starting at the top, which says, okay, these are the publication numbers, it's revision 3, but within this revision, only this wall system has changed. And within that wall system, stick curtain walling, this is the history, contractual version 1, 2, 3, and these are the clauses that have either been added as new, removed, or amended, and all the way through to the Chorus premium functionality where you can go down to the individual clause and see exactly how it's changed. So it's a bit like track changes in Word, but in that managed database system to say this value has changed to this value. This clause has been removed and replaced by these sort of set of clause items. So that was our sort of #1 priority in Chorus in terms of the golden thread of decision making, having real transparency around that change control mechanism. The second one was being able to set performance at the elemental level. So you might have a cladding system with a structural wall system with an internal lining system, but what's the performance across that entire element? So we've released a set of content, both in cores and uniclass format, that's at the level of the element. So if we look here, I think I go to a flat roof element, and at the top there, you can put down the outline specification, like an outline of the roof. Then you can fix the performance. What's the U value? What's the fire performance? What's the expected life? And then as time progresses, you can then say, and this performance is fulfilled by the following combination of systems. Green roof on whatever structural concrete on ceiling system or what have you. So you're following the element to the system, to the individual products. So when 6 months later someone says, can we change this product? You can follow back and say, does it meet this performance? But equally, if 2 or 3 systems come together that are over-specified, you can say, do we need to have insulation here and here because the elemental performance only needs X. So again, shining a light on those decisions from element through to product. The ability to search across all specification content. Again, this is a Chorus Premium functionality, but I've got a fictitious example here. Imagine there's an insulation manufacturer, Hamil insulation, that does Protherm insulation that's been sort of recalled. And you might ask the question, whereabouts is Protherm being specified? And you can search across all these specifications, across all your offices, and it'll pinpoint where that particular product or that particular phrase is being used. Have a look in your masters as well, like, is that product in our masters? But the information's in the cloud now. It's not Microsoft Word documents or NBS building files scattered around the desktop. This is in the cloud, big database, well-structured. So that search across projects functionality gives you answers to those questions so immediately. And then on the manufacturer side, when it comes to building safety, it's about shining a light on the manufacturer information. So we don't test products at NBS. We haven't got an acoustic lab downstairs or what have you. But we say to the manufacturers, look, here's a template, put that information in, say you stand by it, and sort of shine a light on it, so to speak. So if we just look at that data schema again for a manufacturer product, it follows all of the principles in the CCPI code, which we work with CPA on in terms of developing. But if you look at this product here, first of all, how is it classified? And then you jump down and we've got a little traffic light report now which says when was the last time this information was verified by the manufacturer. So you know it's not like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years out of date. Very prominently, the ability to get technical support from manufacturers, a little set of images or videos if required. We've got third-party certification prominent at the top. It always came strongly from our focus groups. And then a section for every single product and system saying, what's the application? What's this product intended to be used in? And then you drop down to the specification property sets that we've looked at. So clear technical language against the relevant standards, all the way down to associated information such as installation manuals and the various certifications. Where products come in variants, so maybe different sizes or different materials, we'll highlight where the technical properties change. So that particular product comes in different thicknesses, and you can scan across and see, like, okay, this thickness has the following fire performance or acoustic performance. This thickness has a slightly different one. So final part of the presentation, looking at collaboration, who are NBS sort of working with. There's obviously collaboration features in the software as well. But yeah, working very closely with the system and product certification bodies. Move away from building safety here into sort of acoustics. I'm doing a search for heat pumps. And again, what we got 50 or 60 heat pumps there. But I'm saying just show me the heat pumps that have third-party certification from QuietMark. And there's the 3 heat pumps that have the QuietMark certification. With our partnership with QuietMark, you can flip that round. So we actually have a landing page now for QuietMark, and here's all of the different products, all of the different manufacturers with QuietMark certification. So you can go from products and filter, or you can go to the different certification boards and say, okay, and we've got partnerships now with QuietMark, CCPI, BBA, and we're looking to take that much further to really have a great sort of resource of information working with partners there. For the last 40, 50 years of NBS, it's been around architects, then moving into engineers. You want to work much more with contractors, especially when it's a contractor-led project, like Paul Morrell was talking about earlier, and there's that sort of design and build, design management function. So currently we're working with very closely with 3 contractors, Bowmer & Kirkland, Galfa Tri, Laing O'Rourke. I think we've got Adrian from Galfa Tri up in a second. We've got John from Laing O'Rourke in the audience as well, to try to put together some of the best practice specification guides that we've developed working with our really close architects and engineers over the years. So it's a document, maybe it's a little bit similar to how we did the BIM object standard for BIM objects, that will go through all the good principles of specification, from editorial principles through classification, all the way through to things like design responsibilities and revisions. So when a team are novated across and work for a main contractor, or coming and working for a main contractor, the team can get together and say, look, architect, structural engineer, building service engineer, this is how we're going to develop those technical specifications for consistency across the team. So watch out the space over the next 2 or 3 months for that document. joint development. And one of our very closest partners are the Royal Institute of British Architects. And yesterday we launched the brand new RIBA CPD platform, where you can go across different topics in the RIBA core curriculum and have a look at what's out there in terms of manufacturers prepared to do either site visits, face-to-face visits, online, on-demand webinars on those topics. So it's a nice new website where you can book CPD, you can browse it and see what's new. You can search for a topic, for example, life cycle carbon, and just see what's out there in terms of helping you do your continued professional development throughout the year. And we've integrated that into NBS Source. So when you're searching for source, you can see the CPD available. And we've also integrated into the specification tool. So you might be specifying something like a fall arrest system, and you think, I want to really know what I'm talking about here. So you've got the little book RIBA CPD on the right-hand side there, where it's provided by a manufacturer. And then finally, we mentioned Glenigan a little bit at the start. Maybe this is angled more towards the manufacturer, but as a manufacturer, you spend a lot of time supporting specifiers on day-to-day projects. Using Glenigan, you can actually tag those projects and say, look, I've supported the architect on this project, and quickly filter using those tags 580,000 live projects in the UK to the ones that you've given the technical support on. And then using the Glenigan API, you can pull that information into your CRM system. So if you're a manufacturer there, you could be using HubSpot, you could be using Salesforce, and make sure that once you're specified in a project, you can watch it and you can protect the spec. So when does it go out to tender? Who are the tenderers? Once the contract is being employed, who's the contractor? So you're not putting a lot of work in on specification support and then finding that you're getting cost engineered out because you've taken your eye off that project. So how are NBS supporting the industry? Well, hopefully I've demonstrated that we're really trying to focus on the big topics, in particular sustainability, building safety. I know when we look at our product roadmap, it's coming from our parent group as well, down from Big Factor, sustainability, big focus, and trying to get as many of those bits of functionality around those topics into both platforms, Chorus and Source, so that we can connect specifiers and manufacturers together. And we can be there as that sort of central hub. And then using digital technology, artificial intelligence, to make things more accurate and more transparent, more efficient. I'm really looking forward to the session this afternoon on artificial intelligence. But yeah, race through that, half an hour. Thank you very much, and we'll start the panel session in a second.